Somebody did point this out. Pedro Pascal was on Game of Thrones too.
Oh yeah,
he got his head smooshed, right?
Yep,
I remember that.
He was the Viper.
He was the Viper. Was that a regular character over there?
He had an arc. He wasn't like through the whole season, but
I just remember the scene of him getting his head smooshed.
Yeah, he got smooshed good.
Yeah, a lot of screaming in that show because people were always getting murdered and slit their.
Yeah, there's a lot of violence,
screaming and boobs, and
lots of violence.
No wonder people liked it. Cavaliers, did they win last night?
They did not.
Oh, they played the Sixers.
There was a
and
controversial reverse call where Joel Embiid was called for a charge against Evan Mobley, and then they overturned it.
I saw people flipping out about it, you included.
I was pretty upset. It was he pushed the guy, and he went sliding down to the baseline, and they're like, "Oh no, it's fine," because it was his sixth foul, and they're like, "Oh, this is an MVP candidate. We're gonna give."
Oh, they didn't want him out of the game.
Yeah,
I see.
So,
and if you know that's going to be the case, or you assume that's going to be the case, if you're the player, you can give yourself a lot of latitude.
Right, and that's what he did.
118-109 was the final, but the Sixers, on any given night, are a good team.
They are a good team, and it wasn't necessarily. I mean, Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell both had kind of off nights, so. It doesn't mean they would have won the game, but it was definitely at a crucial point in the game where he would have been out because it would have been his sixth foul, and I think it would have put us with possession with down by 1 or 3, something like that. So it would have been a good place to be for the Cavs, and then they completely negated that.
Carlos Boozer was on some show talking about when he left the Cavs and everybody hated his guts.
That was rough.
But that was a long time ago, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago, but it still stung.
Sure.
Still stings to this day.
Now, what was that? He said he'd stay, and then he didn't?
He said he was going to stay, and told Gordon Gund still owned the team at the time.
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh, I'll re-sign with you," but then he got a much bigger offer from the Utah Jazz, and
I see.
The Cavs were allowed to match it, but it wasn't. Gordon Gund wasn't a guy that was spending a ton of money.
I see.
So he's like, "Nah, you're going to get $60 million. Go ahead and get your $60 million. I'm not going to pay that kind of money for a power forward."
Right.
So,
okay.
Meanwhile,
we had him he went to the Bulls right after I came to Cleveland. We had him for a few years there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, what?
Career. Meanwhile, $60 million was a huge contract then, and now it's a standard contract.
Right.
You can get somebody of his level for $60 million. Like, oh, not too bad.
20 years ago, you were on top of the world.
Yeah.
A guy, Edwin Diaz, who was a big star for the Mets, he is already out for the season.
I saw that.
Because he
That's
tore. You know what the patella is, Poundcake? He tore his patellar tendon. You know what the patella is?
I do not.
It's that
You don't know
Rihanna
what
song, right? Patella.
Ella. You don't know what the patella is?
No.
The bone in your body. It is commonly known as the kneecap. And so I assumed that the patellar tendon, I inferred, that had something to do with the kneecap, and so I looked it up. It attaches the bottom of the kneecap to the top of your tibia. And he was celebrating at the World Baseball Championship. They're calling it a freak injury. He was celebrating Team Puerto Rico's victory over the Dominican Republic, and he tore his patellar tendon in celebration, and he's out for the season.
Oof.
Oh, that sucks. You didn't even get out to play with the Mets. Oh, recovery time is 8 months. Most likely outcome, they say, is that he will miss the entire season. Of course, they signed him to a 5-year, $102 million deal because the
What do you think the extra $2 million
the Mets didn't want to lose him. What's that?
$102 million.
It's probably some thing that they tacked onto the end to, I don't know.
We will give you $101 million.
Yeah, they had to take him off the field in a wheelchair after celebrating the game. He was playing for Puerto Rico. Why would anybody play? Listen, you got to have people play. I guess it is the World Baseball Championship. But why would any Major League Baseball player, I know that they want to play for their home country and all that, but man, this could happen to anybody who's out there. Just, you read about these guys, oh, I was jumping up and down and I was excited and I landed wrong and I tore a tendon or I broke a bone So they carted him off after a freak injury last night. shocking the crowd at Lone Depot Park in Miami. Oh, it's just got a ring to it, doesn't it? Just the old-timey names of these ballparks really just cast your mind back to afternoons with Dad and Mom and Grandpa and the whole gang going to the ballpark. You know, kids of a certain generation, I guess kids of our generations, we can talk about going to the Jake or catching a game at Comiskey Park with Dad, you know? And at some point, you're going to have kids going like, why do they have to change the name of Lone Depot Park? That's what I grew up with. That's what I grew up with.
I mean, that's literally what people were saying when they changed the name of the Staples Center, where it wasn't named after a person or anything like that, but they're like, it's the Staples Center. I can't call it Crypto.com Arena.
Right.
It's the Staples Center.
Yes.
It's like, the Staples is going out of business, so they couldn't re-up, you know?
People in Providence, Rhode Island, they go, I grew up with the Dunkin' Donuts Arena, all right? It was the Dunkin' Donuts Arena when I was a kid, and I don't care what they call it now. It'll always be the Double D to me, if that's what they call it.
Smoothie King Arena.
Smoothie King Arena.
That is that down in New Orleans?
Somewhere.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. So I wonder if future generations will have those emotional attachments like people do. You know, in Chicago, I'm not a Cubs fan, but, you know, you grow up going to games at Wrigley Field. And even though it's a company name, it's also a family name. It doesn't jump out at you like Lone Depot Park. Because usually a lot of these naming rights, they're kind of flashes in the pan. You'll have companies that have a lot of money, or they're kind of startups or something, so they have a lot of money, and they're trying to get some name recognition or get their name out in the marketplace. So they scoop up naming rights for something that's in there for quite a bit of time. But a lot of these, by the time the naming rights are over, the company's out of business. Like, it's not even a thing anymore. So
it's not the advertising you think it's going to be.
No, Crypto.com Arena. And the people who own the arena are like, yes, I'll take your money. I don't care what you call it. Not going to change anything other than the name and the logo and whatever. How long is the deal on the Romo Fijo? How long are those naming rights?
I'm not sure because he owns the team. So I don't know how long, because, I mean, it was Quicken Loans Arena, and then it became Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, and that came out of nowhere. So I don't even know if, like, I didn't know the naming rights were up for that, or if he just said, well, because I own it all, I can just change it whenever.
Do whatever he wants to do. Okay. Well, yeah. Who cares, right?
You should just call it officially Romo Fijo. Not make it short for anything, just make it Romo Fijo.
Romo Fijo.
Do it, Dan. You know it's the right thing to do.
Well, he changed it to Quicken Loans Arena in 2005 after his company, Quicken Loans. And then Rocket Mortgage was their online lending service. It's just that depending on, you know, with these companies, it's a very ebbs and flows for that kind of business, that sector of business. And you wonder if, when the time comes, if they'll re-up or it'll be something else. It'd be fun to say, we're going over to the Smoothie King Arena.
Right.
It'd be fun to, whatever. Wrigley Field was named after chewing gum. Yes, the Wrigley family business. Right. But it just doesn't jump out at you like some...
Right, because it's not Wrigley Gum.
It's not like Wrigley Gum Park.
Yeah, not Wrigley Gum Field.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the only baseball park that doesn't have, I guess Yankee Stadium and Fenway Park are the only ones that don't have a business behind it.
Okay.
But
Those are the only two?
I think Yankee Stadium technically does because the Yankees just own the rights to it.
Right.
They call it Yankee Stadium. But I think Fenway Park is the only one that doesn't have a sponsored.
Okay.
At this point.
Well, all right. Sorry, World Baseball Classic. I thought it was championship.
No.
Okay, so I thought I made it pretty clear. Maybe I didn't. What we're doing tomorrow at the Clevelander, we're not doing this show tomorrow from the Clevelander. It's gonna be music all. We're not like dicking around and then doing this show from 2 to. We're not doing that. Music all day. MMS on site. We're gonna be cutting in between songs. One time might be Bill, then it's me, and then me and Corey Roddick, or Poundcake and Charlie. I don't know what the permutation is going to be, but that's what tomorrow at the Clevelander is.
Basically, like who's ever near the mic
Whoever's
when
near the
we got to
mic,
go back.
when there's a break, yeah.
They go, hey, jump over here.
Right.
Get on here.
That's what it'll
Talk
be.
with Charlie for a little bit.
Yep.
Talk with
Be a free
Corey
for all.
for a little bit. Yeah.
That's right. So music, us, there, mics, the thing. That's what it is. We'll be partying and doing whatever. I couldn't help but think of Alex Jones and the thing that we've played on a number of occasions. Let me play this for you, a little remix of Alex Jones freaking out about gay frogs.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap. Gay. Frogs, friggin' frogs. It's not funny. I'm gonna say it real slow for you. Gay. Frogs.
Yeah, he was very upset at the gay frogs. I was reading a thing, though, that air pollution, more and more of it all the time, disrupts sexual communication in flies. Did anybody else see this? Air pollution disrupts sexual communications in flies, which means that females are less attracted to males, and males attempt to copulate with other males. They're confused by the environment, which means there are chemicals in the air that turn the friggin' flies gay. That's what that means.
Gay
Flies. So, listen, I don't know if Alex Jones is going to be all over this the way he was about the alleged gay frogs, but I hope he doesn't let this crisis go to waste. I mean,
yeah, you got to do an update, man. You got to
do something.
Song sequels aren't always the biggest thing, but in this case, I feel like it's got to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it makes it sound like you actually know what you're talking about. Like, okay, I was a little off on the gay frogs things, but they got the chemical that's making the flies gay. So that's something.
It's right there in the national.
Everyone knows it.
In the, I don't know what this was in, the national publication of something or other. But, And imagine you're the scientist assigned to that task where you've got a male fly and flies will light on surfaces every, 2.5 seconds. They're always crapping all over the place. So it's got to be tough to be the person scientifically who is assigned to determining which flies are trying to hump which other flies. But I guess somebody's got to do it. I got a letter from somebody who requested that I keep them anonymous. Alan, I'm a male cross-dresser, and I have an NSFW Reddit. And I post some provocative photos on there, and I get a lot of guys flirting with me. One guy gave me his Snapchat name unsolicited, and it was his real name, not a nickname, his real first and last name. And so I looked him up on social and saw that he is engaged to a woman. And this guy had sent me flirty messages and some D pics. Nothing to brag about. He said it looks like a thumb. Oh, no. He's got an opposable penis. He also talks about what he does when he's looking at my pictures and asks for private pics and to meet up. I feel extremely guilty. I fully understand what I post on Reddit and that guys will message me, single or otherwise, but something about this guy wanting to meet up really crossed the line for me. I contacted his fiancée on Facebook.
Dude,
Oh.
come on.
Oh, no.
I made a fake profile and contacted his fiancée on Facebook. I sent her a message explaining how he is cheating, and it shows that she never got the message. I also sent her a friend request. At what point is too much? Should I find another way to warn her, or just let it be and say I've done my part?
Let it be.
Yeah, let it be, homie. I mean,
Why are you...
it sounds
Post
like
it
you
on her
got,
page.
it sounds like you got a good thing
Go
going
to
there.
the actual profile. Put it in
Yeah.
the public.
I
Just
mean,
burn it all down.
Just because, yeah.
Honestly, though...
Because first of all, he hasn't done anything yet.
Also-
you didn't meet up with him. He hasn't done anything.
Also, you're missing a great opportunity to blackmail someone.
Extortion.
Yeah, extortion.
I'm pretty
Come
sure that's
on.
illegal. So don't take that legal advice from us. Nevertheless,
Yeah, don't do that.
let it go. If you have no shortage of people, what are you going to be, Columbo with every dude who sends
Just
you
one more
something?
thing.
One more
Does your
thing.
penis look like a thumb?
I like women. No, you're not going to. go down the rabbit hole with every one of these dudes just because this guy hit you the wrong way. I say let it go, man. I mean, no reason to throw tacks in the road in front of somebody. Something like, because what's going to happen? She's not going to send you a edible arrangement for warning, oh, thank you so much. She's going to hate your guts. She's going to be mad at him. She's going to be mad at herself. They'll probably stay together in the long run. They'll figure it out. Or just let it go.
Wow.
No point being the fly in the ointment. And if it's not you, it's going to be some other guy that this dude is going to hit up, and it's going to... I mean, something is going to explode down the road.
Would you want to know, though?
A grown woman and a grown man, huh?
No.
Like, before you got married to someone, I would want to know
maybe if he had done something. But he's just going back and forth on Reddit, like, hey, send me some D pics or whatever. I mean, if that's as bad as it gets, I mean, yeah, that's a huge thing to keep from. But maybe he's going to be an amazing husband. I don't know. Maybe he's going to be a great dad.
No, he's going to end up being a guy standing outside of a library saying, don't let these drag queens read to people.
Well, yeah, that could be it too, but he didn't mention anything about that. I'm just going by what this guy said. Should I find another way to warn her? What, skywriting?
Yeah, there you
I
go.
mean, you've done what you... I wouldn't have even gone that far.
You should try and see if she'll send you provocative messages too. Maybe they're both dirtbags.
Taste for some, So,
Dude.
and that's even beyond Poundcake.
That's not cheating respectfully.
That's right.
It's not even about, I was going to say it's not about cheating respectfully. You foiled my plan. But, it's just you're involving yourself in something because now you're in it. If something goes down, you're in it. They were like, oh,
why insert yourself into a
insert
situation?
yourself.
Right.
You didn't know what you didn't know. You didn't know what you didn't know until you knew it.
This guy came to you, and you did a little bit of digging
wasn't
for
your
whatever
fault.
reason. Yeah.
Sorry, he could have just cut it off. He could have just cut it off, say, I don't want to, I was creeping. I mean, not that you have to be honest with a cheater, but you could just cut it off if you felt weird about it. But it's not your place to insert yourself because you don't know if they have an arrangement. You don't know, she might be sick and, or she might have a foul smell down there and she's like, go do what you want, honey.
He always goes to foul smell.
Yeah,
Why does he? What?
I don't know, but
Let's go to the most extreme. You were on a pretty good run there, and then you got to foul smell.
You don't know what you don't know until you know it.
I'm just saying, you're setting yourself up to be involved in other people's stuff, and you might not want to be involved. That's the whole point. You don't have to warn someone. That's not your business. Chances are,
And also,
she knows.
why take the chance? Even if she doesn't know, why take the chance this guy shows up on your doorstep
That's what I'm saying.
looking to put a bullet in your head? I mean, Jesus, people are psycho.
Because now it's
Move on to the next.
Because now it's not just her that's gonna know.
Someone told me,
Her
and
dad's gonna know.
I'm keeping this again anonymous. Someone just messaged me and said that they were the other woman and they didn't know they were. And when they found out, they went to the women that were in the relationship with the guy, and the women started hating her instead of their man.
That's what I'm saying.
And
Like,
then
that's the way it goes.
One of them still got married. Like they still.
That's the way it goes. They're going to stand by their man. You're going to be. There's no upside to this. Like best friends have, lost each other because one of them was like, oh, I thought you want to know. Like, and now what do I do with that information? Some people believe that ignorance is bliss. Yeah, it's not. There's no upside to it.
Now, Poundcake,
There's not a cash prize at the end of solving this puzzle.
Poundcake, if you were cheated on, would your first question be, did you do it respectfully?
No, because chances are, if I found out about it, it wasn't respectfully.
Well, no, respectfully is on their end, not on your end. If you've done some investigating, that's one thing. If they tried to keep from hurting your feelings, that would seem to be the definition of doing it respectfully.
Being respectful is not getting caught and not having me find out about it.
Well, nobody can predict when they get caught.
Yes, they do.
Everyone who's ever committed a crime didn't think they were going to get caught.
Like being respectful would be, oh, I need to make sure.
Being respectful, it seems to me that being respectful, the way you're talking about it, is going to great lengths to hide what's going on. That's the being respectful. Right.
Absolutely.
So if you find out, it's not for lack of trying on their part.
You just have to make sure.
Baby, you gotta understand. I lied to you so much.
I know.
I really
Because
tried to lie to you
cared about
so
your
much.
feelings.
Yeah.
I cared about you. I knew how much you would freak out. I knew you would hate me. I didn't want to hurt
It seems
you.
like there's a better way to care about their feelings than to just lie a whole bunch.
I put in so much work, but Poundcake put in more work. And that's on me, honey. That's on me.
Yeah, because you know me.
Because Encyclopedia Brown over here is working overtime.
Yeah.
All right, well, there you go. I think we all concur that you're in a mess over there, and maybe you should get yourself out of it.
Oh, you just made a mess.
I got to take a break. You want to send a text, 35192. Wherever you are, you can listen on the